Hello all, day 3 of Luton conversion, and between day 2 and day 3 there has been a few days, but you can tell how cold it's gone. So yeah, it's very cold. The van is empty, it's all clean, which is nice. We're actually in a new location to do the conversion. We're at Nemi's mum's. We've got a little garage workshop there which I'll show you in a bit. But now it's clean and dry, we can check all these little areas. You can probably see there how it's got all lots of dry rust. So as the condensation has dripped down, it's settled in these little trays and not gone anywhere. It gets worse up this end, you can see here. So I think we're going to try and rub all this down and coat it in a good rust-proof spray. So that gives us an extra layer of protection. There's more here. So while it's empty and dry, that's what we're going to do. Also, we're going to get this floor up, lift it up, have a look at the chassis, and then probably rub all that down and give that a good coating just to protect it. While it's empty, we may as well just spend probably about a week's worth of work, but it's worth doing because we want this to last us. So this flooring here, it's not that bad actually, but we're going to lift it up just to check if there's any rot or anything underneath. Because obviously it's been in the van since 2016, so it's a long time. To get it up, take out these tech screws. You can zoom in and see that. These tech screws, so you can just see them there. They are caked in dust, so we're going to need to dig out all the dust and take it up. It shouldn't be too bad. The bit is a T30, you can see that there. I'll put the links into all these materials that we use in the description below anyway, so you've got a full list of everything we used. So yeah, I'm going to take this floor up, see what's going on. Some of these screws in here are just a bit worn, so you'll see that one, it's not coming out. So a little tip is, if you can try and get a gap, get a screwdriver underneath and twist. And as you do, lift the screwdriver a bit, and what it'll do is it'll get it to grip. So just pry that underneath. As you unscrew, lift a bit. It may catch, like that one. Get your fingers underneath and lift it. And there we have it. So I've just lifted it and wedged a bit of wood underneath to show you what I mean by, see there's a bit of surface rust there, so I'm going to rub all that down and give it a good coating of rust protection. So once we took the flooring up, give it all a good jet wash in. It's come up lovely and clean. Just show you the different stripping tools we're going to use to strip back the metal under the van. So we've got a 65mm stripping tool here. These wire bits are really stiff and rigid, so this one you don't need to put as much pressure on, but obviously it's a lot more savage. The same with this one. This is 100mm. The same with these. These wire bits are really stiff, so you don't have to put as much pressure in, but they will really dig deep. The ones I really recommend getting are these ones. Now you get these as a set of 3. I've already used this one for quite a bit of stuff. You can see how it wears down. This one's good for getting into little corners, so you can see it's a bit more of a point to it. And then this grinding wheel, it doesn't cover a big of an area, but it will get out little bits of rust really well, because it's a really stiff bits of metal. The other thing is just a metal grinding disc. This one's a bit worn. We've got some grinding discs. Now these pits fit in a drill. As you can see there, they just fit to drill easily. And these ones go into a grinder. So literally fix those on. Make sure it's tight. For a bit of elbow grease, we've got a stiff wire brush. They're great just for cleaning up the surface. And this one now is brilliant for if you can't get a drill in, or you can't get any of these bits into the corners like this one. You can really get this one in deep into little crevices and corners that you need to strip back. Obviously it takes a bit of elbow grease, but if it's a cold day you'll soon warm up. So yeah, those are the bits we're looking at. Let's get cracking. So obviously now I've already done a bit, but rubbed some of this down. Any bits, you can see there, one of the bolts was stuck in, so just got the angle grinder and grinded it down so it's all smooth. So now I'm just going to go around all these bits. I'm going to give everything a little once over. Some bits you can see there, I've got a bit of surface rust, so I'll spend a bit more time on those, just rubbing it down. But it's generally just to give a bit of a surface for the protection spray to stick to. And then we'll rub some of this down. There's a bit there that wants rubbing down as well. You can see it's slightly corroded. If you're doing any sort of this work, you definitely need some ear defenders and some goggles. I've got my glasses on today, so 2 for the price of 1. As well as the subframe, you've got the chassis as well. You can see here some of these bits, got a bit of corrosion on that one, especially there, look. So even though there's a thick white coating on the chassis, I'm going to rub all this down, rub it right back, get rid of this surface rust, and spray that as well. It's snowing. Yeah, we cleaned everything yesterday, chassis and that, to do some spraying today, but obviously it's snowing and it's very cold, so I think we're going to call today off. And look at it, blizzards. Yeah, have a day inside doing some work, I think, and buying stuff for the van. See you soon. Today's task: rust converter.
I am rust. Convert me.
She's happy about this very exciting process. So this stuff, Genelite, it converts rust to a ready to paint surface. So we've gone to the extreme of rubbing all the surfaces down, getting rid of the rust as much as we can, surface rust. So we need to prepare it for painting. So if we just paint on top of it, it's basically polishing a turd. So it will come through eventually. So if we use this rust converter, just sprays on, and as you can see there, just apply a thin coat, leave it for 15 minutes to dry. We've actually already done a coat, we're just waiting for it to dry, and then it says add 2 or 3 light coats. We'll probably get 2 coats. All of the metalwork there you can see is probably 1 can maybe. We've got 3 cans, so plenty enough. And then leave it overnight, and then tomorrow, weather depending, we'll do some painting. There's a different groove for painting. This rust converter comes with some hazard warnings, so it's very flammable, it's corrosive, so make sure you get some gloves on, and it's also seriously harmful to your health. And to prove this, I found out Nemi was wearing some like completely sealed goggles, and you can probably see, can you see? Oh, it's not zooming. There. See all those little specks on the glass? That spray is actually melted? Is that the right word? Like reacted with the plastic, and it's actually created like a rough surface now. So that just goes to show how important these goggles are. So make sure you get your goggles on, and your gloves, and your mask, and be safe. I wonder if the women's one's got a quick release to go to the loo, because the men's has got a double zip. Yeah, so you haven't got to take it off to go to the loo, unless you need a cap, obviously. So it's been about 15 minutes, what it recommends for drying time, and it's about right. That is dry. So you can see where it's been, we've actually covered different areas. So yeah, it's about due for another coat. We'll probably give it another 10 minutes just to make sure, because obviously we started here and it took us probably half an hour to get through the van, so we'll probably give it, yeah, probably about half an hour till we start the next coat. Coat number 2. Right, got about half a can left. Coat number 3. We are done. So we've used 3 cans of this altogether. They're 400ml cans. So 2.5 was enough to cover it in 2 coats, and then we had half a can left to do a quick third coat on the worst bits. But yeah, let me show you. So yeah, we are done. I'm gonna let that dry off, and then overnight. And then tomorrow it is paint time. See you tomorrow. Today is paint day. Oh, I thought it was blue skies. It's cloudy. Still okay though. Do the paint dance. It's the paint day dance. Well then, for this job, undercoating the body of the van, what you're going to need is underbody seal. Now we've gone for the Hammerite and the body seal with wax oil. We've also got a spray can. Now this is to be brushed on, so anywhere that we can't brush, we can get into crevices and cracks and holes with a bit of spray, so that's handy to have. So you're going to need some brushes to brush on the under seal. Another thing to get is some white spirit, so if you get that anywhere it shouldn't be, get a rag, soak it in a bit of white spirit beforehand, and then just rub it off and it comes straight off. So even on your hands or anything, obviously be careful getting it on your hands, but on your gloves, tools, any cables or anywhere it shouldn't be, basically it'll come off. And the other thing, most important, I've got some overalls. They were like 20 quid, but these will save your clothes. Plus you look great as well, look like a Teletubby. The other thing we recommend, get a decent mask, but make sure it's rated about P2, P3, just so then obviously you're stopping a lot of odours going in, because some are just dust masks. Make sure that you're getting it for solvents and odours and aerosol sprays. That's a must. Another thing to get is some goggles. Now you can get some glasses actually, or goggles, so they wrap around, so if you're underneath the van you're not going to get any drops in your eyes. And the other thing we recommend getting is some marigolds. Mine are a bit worn in, I actually need some new ones, but get yourself a set of marigolds. Now we use these because buying packs of disposables or throwaways, it's just waste, and they don't last long, they rip really easily. So if you get some of these, I'm saying that and look at the state of this one, but you buy one of these, and then all we do then is we soak it in a bit of white spirit afterwards, and it comes up really clean and you can use them again. And obviously you can use them multiple times. We've used them for painting, doing the underbody seals on other vans as well, and they work a treat. Plus you're buying one set, you know, rather than wasting loads of different plastic sets. Oh, and the only other thing is this stuff can get messy, as in very messy. So we would recommend, and I'll show you, is underneath the van we've put down a tarpaulin sheet which literally covers everywhere we're going to be working. It's all underneath the van. Anywhere we're working, just got a tarpaulin sheet on the drive because you don't want to be trying to get this stuff off the driveway after. Got another sheet there just to show you. Because if any of this gets on the floor and you tread on it, you know, step in it, it's going to walk all over the driveway. So, yes, very good top tip that is. Keep it clean and have lots of fun. We are using this stuff. Again, we searched hours online, finding the best coating underneath, and Hamrite always came out on top. It's sort of been around for years, and heavy duty protection, undercut mainly for wheel arches and high impact areas, so obviously underneath the van where salt and muck and everything get flung up, it's ideal. So you can see we've already coated all of this bit here and the rust bit that was there. We're not coating that because it's aluminium, so it's not going to rust and corrode. But everywhere else, except for obviously suspension arms and bushes, cables, brake lines, they don't need covering. So yeah, it's quite messy. It's quite clean actually. It's because she's been protected. Yeah, it's quite mucky stuff. As you can see, it's very like gloopy. But it hasn't been neat. It hasn't got to be neat. You can just throw it on. So yeah, it's quite fun. And obviously hazards. Get your goggles on. Get your mask on. And it recommends 2mm thickness and leave overnight to dry. But just to note, this product, it won't completely dry. It always remains tacky. So it can be a bit of a mechanic's nightmare, because if they've got to get under the van later, they can get covered in it. But yeah, we've got, what size can is this? It's a, what size can is it? Is
2
it
litre, 2.5 litre.
2.5 litre, there we go. 2.5, we've already done about half, and there's loads left. So yeah, it goes a long way. What we're going to do, finish doing the van, and then at a later stage we'll do actually under here as well, and all the wheel arches, but we're not doing that today because we don't need to. So yeah, you can see there we've coated all this bit. You can see how it's starting. We started this maybe about an hour ago, and it's already, if I do that, you can see it does come off a little bit, but it's just tacky, and you can see it's not going on neat. But you only need one coat, but we might do a couple of coats on this just to make sure it's all covered. Yeah. Okay, so we've done one coat, and it's been about half an hour maybe, and it's, you can probably hear that. So yeah, it's not pulling any off, but it's still tacky, so that's how it'll dry. So it won't actually dry fully. But you can see after one coat that it's all brush strokes, and you can still see through it. Because it does say put a 2mm layer on, but it's quite hard to paint a thick layer. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go over and put another coat on quick now. Just a quick brush over just to make sure everything's covered. But yeah, it's looking good. Right then, it's fully dry overnight. Thought I'd just show you how well it goes off. You can see it's got very slight tackiness to it, but if you give it a rub, you can feel it's not 100% set, and you can see it does come off slightly if you give it a good rub. But goes off really well. And then I'll show you these bits down here, they've all gone off. So yeah, we are 100% good to go. This bit's a bit thicker, but still does exactly what it says on the tin. Happy days. Mucky fingers. Now, don't throw your marigolds away. Get a bit of white spirit. A little bit in your hands. Don't mind if it goes on the vans. Give them a bit of a wash. They're not good as new, but ready to go again. Hey folks, we're done. The underbond is complete. I've cleaned my hands, so I'm no longer filthy. Let's just give you a little, it's still a little bit tacky, but you can see we've coated, you can see that very well. This is the aluminium subframe, so we don't need to coat that. But all of this frame here is done. Try and get a better view so you can see a bit better. So in here we've actually covered these cross members as well. Because some of these were getting quite a bit of rust on them, so we decided to cover those, and underneath those as well. You might be able to see this one a bit better. Yeah, see this better. So we've coated all this. We've actually done 2 coats completely everywhere, and then once that was dry, after about half an hour it dries, it goes quite tacky. So once we've done that, I've just gone around and touched up on a little bits. But yeah, looks really cool. Being black, it's amazing. But yeah, the main bit protected is under there, so all that bit there, it's all done, all protected, which is cool. So we are complete. Now, we're going to let that sit overnight to fully dry, and then that means tomorrow we can get the floor back down, which then means we can do the rest of the van. So yeah, it took us about a week altogether with rubbing down, treating with rust converter and undercoating. The undercoatings only took us a Sunday afternoon, so we had a nice chilled afternoon, bit of music, paintbrushing, enjoyable. But yeah, we're done. It probably took us about 5 hours maybe to do all that, just many brew breaks. We're done, yeah, but it took us about a week altogether. But it's a good job done. So once the floor's down, then we haven't got to worry about underneath for a good few years. You know, when we're travelling around all weathers and everything, especially salt. You know, if we go anywhere in the winter and there's salt on the road, at least we know we're protected. And we're not going to get big welding bills, hopefully in years to come. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the tutorial. Hope it's been informative. Any questions, drop us a comment, we'll do our best to answer them. Again, we're not experts, you know, we've read reviews, we've learned stuff online. I've got a bit of experience with old cars, so I know a bit with underbond work and rust and things like that, but still an amateur. So hope this has been exciting and informative. We'll see you next time. Today we are removing